Welcome to Burning Bright, a weekly podcast presenting poetry and prose from Passenger. There are 2 days when we officially remember the World War II Nazi genocide. Holocaust Remembrance Day, Yom HaShoah, is the 27th of the Hebrew month of Nisan. This year that corresponds to April 27th. It celebrates the Jewish resistance to the Nazis' attempts to destroy them. There's also International Holocaust Remembrance Day, observed each year on January 27th, the day in 1945 that the Auschwitz concentration camp was liberated. Its goal is global education to prevent future genocides. On this episode of Burning Bright, 4 pieces related to the Holocaust. Rachel Heimowitz said she was thinking about raising her children through intifadas, terrorism, and the First Gulf War. She said she has children in Israel, including one, quote, who arrived home from his high school in the area where 3 were killed in a terrorist attack today, close quote. Also implied in the poem is Kristallnacht, the night of broken glass, that night in 1938 when the Nazi Party, Hitler Youth, and German civilians destroyed Jewish synagogues, houses, and businesses. Here's Rachel's poem, Glass in a Hailstorm. These days, mercy is all we can ask for. A finger here, a finger there, little fingers on my cheeks waking me to the Sunday morning nightmare. The 8 a.m. number 18 bus explodes. Again. Should I dress the girls, send them off to school? These girls who taught themselves to dance in gas masks, jumping on the bed, falling back into a jumble of pillows and air filters, the window behind them buttoned in a masking tape cross. We walked to shul in the quiet of Shabbat, past the burned-out bus, its battery acid smell filling the atmosphere. And these girls, my girls, their hands soft as the air at dawn, my high heels clicking the pavement, the morning chill fingering my hair. Soon enough, they too will wake to the pop of a stun grenade, learn to run long distances in mud, make their way guided by stars, their lives fragile as glass in a hailstorm. From the winter 2016 issue of Passenger, Rachel Heimowitz's poem Glass in a Hailstorm. Rachel said, no matter what we do, what we write, or what we say, violence in the world continues. And meanwhile, we just continue to nurture our children. We have no choice. It's the only way. Claire Kahane grew up in the Bronx, the daughter of Jewish immigrants. Here's an excerpt from her memoir, Cats Go for the Throat. When the war ended, my parents tried to get news about their families in Europe, writing to relatives and hoping for some reply. It came from my father one day in the form of a letter on a sheet of the thin blue airmail paper. I watched him unfold it carefully, read it in a language I couldn't understand, and then, with a sobbing intake of breath, drop the letter, his body crumpling as he sank down into the kitchen chair. I had never seen my father cry. Something awful had happened, but I was too frightened to ask what it was. Later, my mother explained that the letter was from the postmaster of my father's hometown in Poland, telling him that his mother, father, and sister were all dead. The Nazis had locked them in their house and set it afire. From that time forward, my father became God's angry man, shaking his fist at religion and literally bringing home the bacon for breakfast every weekend out of spite. An excerpt from Claire Kahane's memoir, Cats Go for the Throat, that Passenger published in its 2023 trauma issue. The thing about trauma, whether personal, familial, generational, or cultural, is that it lives on. Here's Fran Markover's poem, Memorial for My Name. Great-grandmother shadows over me, last dream crying out our name, Fagala, Fagala. Her spirit covers me like a prayer shawl in the night's chill. Great-grandmother yearns for her family, last dream whispering my story, my name, Among the incense of pogrom ashes, she pleads, "Who'd harm an old woman?" Great-grandmother hovers over me, light as a firebird, last dream. Orange flames that consumed her at Buchenwald consume me, shivering in my bed, burning. From her book Grandfather's Mandolin, Memorial for My Name, Fran Markover. Passager's editor-in-chief Rosanne Singer writes about those handed-down anxieties too. In her poem, I Dream of Safety. Even when I am safe, as I unlock the front door and twilight filters through the apartment windows and I am home, I don't believe it. When I walk out the door in the morning, I think about the evening, how safe I'll be on the sofa, having carried the dinner plate to the coffee table. Is this my dream, or the dream of someone else? Maybe my father, who swept up the broken glass of his synagogue in 1938 Frankfurt. Or my mother, who wiped blood from the auburn hair of her father, sprawled on the floor of his Baltimore body shop, October 1939. Did their nightmares migrate? Am I keeping alive the fear of the baseball bat in the dark body shop? The held breath of my grandmother, hiding behind drapes, about to board a cattle car to Auschwitz. From her book Home Theater, I Dream of Safety, Rosanne Singer. To buy Fran Markover's book Grandfather's Mandolin, or to subscribe to, donate to, or learn more about Passager and its commitment to older writers, visit PassagerBooks.com. Passager offers a 25% discount on the books and journal issues featured here on Burning Bright. Visit our website to see what's on sale this week. For Christine, Rosanne, Mary, Asher, and the rest of the Passager staff, I'm John Shore.